The Devils began a short 2-game road trip in Pittsburgh on Thursday night, and it was the Penguins with a 3-goal third period defeating the Devils by a score of 4-1. Matt Loughlin and Chico Resch here at PPG Paints Arena. As we check out some highlights of this one, it was a turnover fest in the first period, some rust for the Penguins, who were playing their first game coming off the Olympic break, and the Devils maybe showing the wear and tear of back-to-back and some late travel last night. Who knows? Either way, it was a bit of a sloppy game. But the goalies can never be sloppy, as you know, Chico Resch. And Arseny Gritsuk had this showdown with Arturs Shilovs. Pesce had lost his stick on a check try. To the blue line it goes Girard. Now for Letang with a shot blocked away by Markstrom. Brown, finds a man. Gritsuk save made by Shilovs. It was a big night for Arturs Shilovs, his first career win against the New Jersey Devils. He was coming off the Olympics. He helped Latvia to only their 4th ever Olympic win when he backstopped them to a victory over Germany. And tonight he probably thinks this is maybe a little more important given what Pittsburgh's trying to do.
Oh, and he's trying to establish himself. You know, Vancouver had him, and they wish they wouldn't have given him up. But he's come from Vancouver, and he thinks he can be number one here in Pittsburgh. And tonight, I got to give him my vote.
He was good, no question about it. But so was Jacob Markstrom, who was a standout throughout the night. And here's Justin Brazeau with his testimony. Devils win it. Hischier won the draw, but now a turnover. Penguins had it for a moment. Here's Hischier. He's knocked down by Kindle. Odd man situation. Glove save by Markstrom as he robs Brazeau. Odd man situation, but Jacob Markstrom looked really solid tonight.
He did. He was aggressive. You know what he had to look at? He said, I'm going to try to win this game myself.
And he almost did. Unfortunately, as we will move through the highlights, it wasn't to be. There was a late penalty called on Arseny Gritsuk for a slash, the only penalty called in the first period, and it was Pittsburgh taking the lead. Malkin, cross ice it goes. Chinakhov moves in, centers. Puck played to the blue line. Here's a drive, they score! A tip in front, a power play goal, and Pittsburgh takes the 1-0 lead. We'll get back to the highlights, but we'll check in here with Sheldon Keefe.
Not the result that he wanted at the end, but what can you at least say about, him keeping the team in the game and for him individually to have an effort until things started to unravel?
He battled. He gave us every opportunity. I thought if there's another positive, I thought in the first period we really moved the puck well. It was a really fast game. That's one of the fastest teams we've played this season. They got a ton of speed and skill throughout their lineup, and I thought we matched that pretty good in the first period and made a bunch of plays to the slot, things that we wanted to do. But they also competed hard, clogged it up. I don't know how many block shots they finished with in the game, but they blocked a lot tonight. We just couldn't convert the final play. But Markey's play and our 5-on-5 play through 40 minutes, I think there was lots to like there. But special teams and our play in the third period is just, you keep losing games.
What did you see in that 50-second stretch where they scored those 2 quick goals there in terms of reaction or?
Yeah, I thought I haven't watched the third goal back yet, but I thought the sequence in the second goal started with us just getting outworked in the offensive zone, and then now we get on our heels in D zone, and it's a little too much standing around, not enough sprinting and closing, and and then it. All of a sudden now they have the leads. That they're going to clog it up, and it's going to be tough to get through the neutral zone, and we turned it over, and an egregious line change that just gives them a breakaway, and those are the kind of things that just can't happen. It just can't happen.
Things that Nico was, sort of alluding to is that when you're down in a game, like, you want to do something, you want to make something happen, but you can't do too much in a way to, like, what is that fine balance, right? When you're searching.
When you're a team that's searching for offense, it becomes even harder, right? I mean, we're trying to make plays. We need to get our D involved, we need to get active, but then all of a sudden, the odd man rushes against go way up. Like, it's trying to find that balance. It's tricky in the way things have gone offensively. defensively, it's the guys are going to push that much more. But I liked a lot about our game. I thought our vibes were good. Going into the third period, it's just we just weren't able to follow it up with the effort that was required, the energy that we needed, and we just made some mistakes that they capitalized on.
Thanks, Sheldon.
Thanks, Sheldon.
Head coach Sheldon Keefe, courtesy of MSG Networks, discussing tonight's loss. The Devils fall 4-1. So we'll get back to the highlights. The Devils trailing 1-0 going into the second. They had 4 power play opportunities, 5 in the night, 0 for 5.
Yeah, that's not a winning combination. Especially, Matty, what are we talking about? Scoring goals. Your specialty teams, their power play has to find a way to get the puck in the net.
Markstrom made a shorthanded save on a breakaway by Connor Dewar to keep it 1-0. Then a penalty was called on Pittsburgh, a delayed call, extra skater on, and the Devils tied it up. Markstrom to the bench for the extra skater. It's Hamilton at the right point. Now it's for Hughes at the hash marks to Hamilton, the blast, and did it go in? Yes, it did. I thought it might have been a save. Shelov's reached for it, but the puck lodges in the back of the net. It is a 6-on-5 goal by the Devils with the extra man on, and they've tied it at 1. And now the Penguins are deciding whether they're going to challenge this.
Why?
Goalie interference?
I don't know.
Pittsburgh is challenging that there was goaltender interference prior to the goal.
He's jumping out of the way. And, Matty, there's no goalie interference.
Here's the only thing I see. Does he step inadvertently on Shelov's stick? It might be, but I say, come on. Could he have done that on purpose? Was it inadvertent? Is it goalie interference? That's what's being decided now.
Here's the ruling.
After coach's challenge video review, the call on the ice stands. We have a goal.
And so it was Paul Cotter who finally got a goal after 23 games without.
And hope just sprung eternally after he finally scored and the Devils tied the game.
And so the Devils then had a power play for the delay of game penalty assessed against Pittsburgh. But again, we mentioned they were 0 for 4 on the power play in the second period, 0 for 5 on the game. So the game is tied at 1 going into the third. And as you just heard from Sheldon Keefe, that's where things turned around from a negative standpoint for the New Jersey Devils. First, it was Jacob Markstrom, though, keeping the Devils tied at 1. Chipped away in Letang. Hands it off. Now moving across is Raquel. Has a man cutting to the front of the net. It's Avery Hayes. He backhands it high and wide. Now a drive by Girard off a stick off the glass. Now here's Letang, top of the near circle with a wrist shot. Save the rebound. Oh, what a stop by Markstrom on the try by Rust. Raquel to Letang out high with a wrister redirected. The follow-up by Rust is stopped, and we'll have a stop in play as Markstrom makes another remarkable save. But that's what Sheldon Keefe was talking about, and full marks to Jacob Markstrom because he was a standout tonight. But Pittsburgh was coming on, and they were scrambling, and the Devils just lost control in that third period.
Yeah, I don't think they were outworked. I think what he meant was they were outsmarted. Whatever it was, the Penguins' skill was starting to surface, and the Devils were getting more and more frustrated.
And then we had what we will call the play of the game, brought to you by Prudential, the Devils' official financial services partner. A bit of a lucky break, some iron, a carom, and a goal. And a hard pass off the skate of Ryan Shea, who recovers for the Penguins. Now to the blue line, Mantha for Clifton to Mantha, chips it to Shea, slap shot off the crossbar, drive by Clifton, he scores!
Oh no!
He scores from the near side, Connor Clifton, it's 2-1. Oh, it looked to be one of those circus-type plays, Mr. Resch.
I thought it was double iron, and it was, but unfortunately the second shot hit the back iron, which resulted in the goal.
And so that made it 2-1. We'll call that the play of the game, brought to you by Prudential, because it gives Pittsburgh the lead. And then, the backbreaker comes 50 seconds later. You heard Sheldon talk about it. We described it, a bad change by the Devils defenseman. The puck just wasn't deep enough, obviously. It was deep, but not deep enough in the Pittsburgh zone. Quick pass, Malkin, Chinikov, and he's in to score.
Yeah, he went and he made a nice move. And, Markey now is trying to use a poke check, which I get. But when he did that, Chinikov saw that and then quickly just shoved it through his legs.
So we will hear right now, get a little reaction from the dressing room. Check in with the veteran D-man, Brett Pesce.
Pesh, I imagine frustrating for this group knowing where you guys were at going into the break and wanting to come out strong here. Not bad games, but just not able to get over the hump.
Yeah, same story, right? I don't have many words to say. It's tough, feels like we're in every game where we're a bounce away, and it just doesn't seem to go our way. So it's tough right now.
What's it like for an athlete in these games where, things are so repetitive, right? And is it in your head as you're playing?
Yeah, I mean, as much as you don't want to think about it, I think it's human nature to have that in your head. We've faced so much adversity this year, and like I said, we've been in so many tight games, and just the outcome just doesn't go our way, and it's tough. It seems like just repeating itself over and over, and it's obviously hard for us to get out of it right now.
That second period in particular, just 12 minutes of special teams, that's something that unfortunately as a group you guys couldn't necessarily capitalize. I know you don't play on the power play, but you guys did your job on the PK.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's another thing, right? We lost the special teams tonight. We give up one on the kill, and our power play doesn't capitalize, so that's another thing we got to bear down on, whether it's the kill or the power play. It's just, like I said before, it just seems like everything's kind of going against us right now.
It is all downhill, no doubt about that. Things are just piling up on the Devils, who drop another one by a score of 4-1. Back in action on Saturday as they will take on St. Louis, a game that you'll hear here on the Devils Hockey Network.